Yeah, this isn't a very flattering camera angle. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dave from Chase the Summit, and today we're gonna be taking a look at a new treadmill from Botorro, B-O-T-O-R-R-O, Botorro. This is the R5 folding treadmill. Thanks to us all being isolated at home for the past year, the treadmill market seems to be booming right now. And so Botorro came out with this R5 treadmill that has a few cool features that make it a little bit different than the rest of the market. Let's take a look. First of all, I do want to thank the UPS guy that dropped this thing off, because this is a massive, heavy box, and I can't believe one guy in a UPS truck dropped it off. So without further ado, I'm gonna get this thing out of the box and we'll see what's inside. Oh yeah, and I do want to thank Botorro for sending this treadmill out for the purpose of this video. This isn't a sponsored video or anything, but they did provide this treadmill for free, so there is that. Let's get back to unboxing this thing. How do we lift this thing out of here? That's a little heavy. That's a little bit heavy, Dave. Oh. You cool? You're not gonna fall over on me? Sides down here. Okay, so let's briefly talk about what comes in the box. Obviously, I got the treadmill behind me, but it also came with this little goodie bag. Let's see what's inside this. So it looks like we've got some treadmill belt lube. It's just for like routine maintenance. Also got some form of tool here. We've got a standard power cord, three-prong power cord. Nothing special there. And then it looks like we've got the safety clip that you wear while you're on the treadmill, so it turns off if you fall off the back of it. What makes this treadmill so special is that there's zero assembly required. That's what they advertise, at least on the box. Basically, you should be able to pop this thing out of the box, set it up, just pull the arms up, and then start running. So let's try that. Let's go through that experience together, shall we? There's a couple of big zip ties around the side here that clearly have to be cut. And then we've got some packing instructions here that just simply to disassemble the straps on both sides of the column, to unfold the column, and then it tells you how to lift up the thing and lock it in position. Unlock. Oh, jeez. Lifting up. Okay, there we go. So lifting up this, it's got like gas springs in the bottom here that assist it. And this is also how you change the elevation of the console, which seems kind of low in the highest position. Okay, so to set this thing up, you've got to unlock these little switches in the corner here, and then you lift this until it's in the desired position. There's actually some gas springs at the bottom here that assist you in lifting this thing up, so it's not super heavy, and that's pretty cool. So it's nice and smooth, nice and fluid. So here's the little lock levers here. Basically, you just flip this little switch to lock it on and off. In the unlocked position, you can change the angle of the arm and also the height of the console. And then in the locked position, it just stays there. Okay, so let's take a look around some of the hardware here. So this features an 18-inch wide belt, so it's not super wide. If you compare that to something like my Nordic track over here, so 18 inches wide is enough for me, but if you're like a very tall person, very wide, you might have an issue with this belt. Checking out the console here, we've got the start button on the left, we've got a stop button on the right, and then we've got speed adjustments in the middle here for speed up, speed down, 2 miles per hour, 4, 6, and 8 miles per hour, which I believe is the top speed on this treadmill. Again, you've got the safety clip in the middle here. You clip this to your running shorts, and essentially, if you fall off the back of the treadmill, this pops out and it'll kill the power to the motor. Above that, you've got a little tablet holder. You can put an iPad or something in here. And what's cool about this unit is it actually does have speakers built in, and we'll test that out right now when I power this thing up. I'm hoping that this power cable they supplied is long enough to get to an outlet. That would be great. Okay, now that I've got it plugged in, just around the front here, there is a little power switch, so I'm gonna flip that on. And now the display lit up here. It looks like we've got speed, time, steps, distance, and calories burned. That's interesting. I wonder where they're getting those metrics from. Curious to see how these Bluetooth speakers work. I don't see any like pairing buttons or anything on here, so it must just show up. Oh yeah, there it is. We've got a BT-R5. I'm guessing that's gonna be the treadmill, so I'll try to connect to it with my phone. Let's see what the speakers sound like by shamelessly playing some of my own podcast. Congratulations on 10K, by the way. That's a big milestone.
Thank you.
So the speakers on this thing actually sound pretty darn good. There's a good amount of bass. It sounds pretty clear. It actually gets really loud too, which is pretty nice. And there are transport controls right on the console. So you can skip forward tracks, you can skip backwards tracks, you can play and pause, and you can also turn the volume up or down on your phone or tablet right from the console without having to mess with the phone. The tablet holder is actually pretty nice as well. It holds my iPhone 12 Pro really nicely here. I can put it landscape or portrait mode pretty easily. There's a little rubber lip at the bottom actually that kind of holds it in place, which is pretty nice. And then to the left and right of the console, you do have some cup holders. So you got a cup holder on the left and on the right, which is pretty nice. Okay, so I think that's enough blabbering about all the specs of the hardware here. I'm gonna take it for a quick jog. Obviously, I'm not going for my long run wearing these jeans, but I'm gonna take it for a little spin, see how it is, see how smooth it rides, and I'll get right back to you. I've tested another inexpensive treadmill in the past, and it felt a little jerky at lower speeds because the motors in these things typically aren't very strong. I can definitely feel that in this treadmill as well. Like if I could probably stop this by just, yeah, if I try to resist it hard enough, I could probably stop the belt from moving. So let's try it at a little higher speed and see what it feels like then. Oh, now it feels much better. Just that little bump in speed definitely helped it out quite a bit. So 4 miles per hour, actually really smooth. This feels pretty good actually. Let's bring it up to full speed, which is 8 miles per hour, just to see what that looks like. Yeah, this is fine. Definitely at the higher speeds, there's a little vibration on the console, but it's really not bad at all. Okay, first impressions, just jogging on it a little bit, pretty good. Okay, so general first impressions on jogging on the Botorro R5 folding treadmill for a few minutes. Generally pretty good experience so far. I'm actually pretty impressed with how it's dampening out the vibration being such a small treadmill. It looks like they've got some suspension built into it, so it's taking the shock load of my foot and transferring that energy into the rubber feet pretty well. This thing retails for $899, and I actually do have a coupon code in the description down below that'll give you 20% off, which is a pretty good value for a treadmill like this. Again, this is just a first impressions video. It's definitely not an in-depth review over time because I've only had it today. You watched me unbox it. But generally, first impressions on this thing, pretty good. I really like the feature set. It's very easy to use, and the motor feels powerful enough to move me along pretty easily. That said, if you're a heavier person or you're a very tall person, you might feel a little cramped on this device because of that 18-inch wide treadmill belt, but also the weight limit on this thing is 265 pounds. So if you are a heavier person, you got to keep that in mind. So I'd say the pros on this thing would be the price, the feature set that you're getting for that price, the adjustable handrail, the fact that there's no assembly required. You basically just take it out of the box, plug it in, and you're ready to go, which is pretty cool. I also like the fact that it has speakers on board and they sound pretty darn good, to be honest. I kind of wasn't expecting that. That's kind of a nice perk. And you've got all the controls right on the console, so you don't have to fiddle around with your phone while you're running on the treadmill. One other thing to keep in mind when you're looking at this treadmill is because it is a budget-oriented treadmill, it doesn't have all of the features you'd find on a more high-end unit. For instance, this doesn't have any form of incline, so you can't raise or lower the deck to simulate elevation gain. Okay, I think that about wraps it up for this video about the Botorro R5 folding treadmill and what I think about it so far after unboxing it and playing with it for a few minutes. I think it's pretty cool for the money. And if you are looking to pick up a Botorro R5 treadmill, I will have a link in the description that does help support my channel, but it costs nothing extra to you. And while you're down there, there will be a coupon code for 20% off a Botorro R5 treadmill on Amazon. And I think that's a pretty good value for what you're getting here. Okay, I think that's all I've got for this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.